Hey guys, Mike Pytel here. We're at the ECX Scooter Shop warehouse, and today we're going to do an unboxing and get a first look at the new BK Fender. What this is Brandon Kilbury, which if you're not familiar with him, definitely go get some education on YouTube and everything like that to watch. He is an OG. He's been around for about 17 years, so he's been around since basically the beginning. When I started out riding, he was one of the dudes that I would watch his videos, so it's definitely like an honor to get to carry something that he has made for the industry. So this is a full carbon fiber fender, so it's not a brake, it's a fender, which if you're not familiar, basically just means you can't actually press down on it. It's more to cover the wheel rather than actually moderate your speed at all. And what's really awesome is that these are pretty compatible with a wide range of decks. For example, Chetty Fender is a popular fender. You can't run that on an Aztec deck because it's wider in the back. Whereas this, the way that it's designed, you can run it on an Aztec, a TSI, an Urban Art, a lot of these bigger, larger decks out there that you guys are trying to put fenders on. This one is going to be compatible and a good way to go. So let's rip it open, unbox it, and check them out. Alright, so you're going to cut into this. The shipping label actually says it's from SpaceX. That's because Brandon Kilbury actually works there, which is pretty cool. So obviously he has a large background in scooters, been riding for 17 years, but then he also has an aerospace background, which I guess piqued his interest into doing carbon fiber fenders. This is something that, at least to my memory, I don't remember anybody else doing carbon fiber fenders, so this is definitely awesome. So there's plenty of hardware here. They have the bolt, the nut, and the washer, because carbon fiber is, essentially fiber pressed together, so that washer is definitely going to help to make sure no damage comes to the fender. And here they are. Taking a peek at this, I mean this weighs basically nothing, so anybody that's worried about weight out there, if those couple little bits of weight matter to you, this will probably be a little bit lighter than a steel fender. I feel like anybody that's worried about weight is probably riding a brake rather than a fender, but it'll probably help balance it out. Gets a little bit less weight in the back, so it might not be about making your scooter lighter, but making it more balanced will definitely be a key aspect to these. Alright, so we got these all unboxed and laid out in front of me. Real quick to kind of go over how these are made, if you're not familiar, carbon fiber is like sheets. That's why it's called carbon fiber, is that it's fiber essentially. And so there's a mold, and Brandon basically puts the sheets over top of this mold and it forms, and then he CNCs it out to give it the shape that you see here. So it has basically an oval hole design, so it will be fully adjustable as far as how close to the wheel it is. So if you want to maximize your foot space and you're not riding large wheels, you can push that all the way back onto the wheel to give yourself that little bit more room, because every half inch definitely helps. They're pretty low profile compared to some other fenders, and especially compared to a brake. Another thing that's really awesome about this, it has a clear coat over top, give it a nice little shine. And like I said, one of the main properties of this, other than the compatibility of different decks, is that it is insanely lightweight. This might not make a big difference as far as the overall weight of your scooter, but it will make a difference as far as the balance and the way that it feels to whip it around. I'll go ahead and put this on a scale, and I will compare it to one of the most popular fenders, the TSI Chetty Fender. We'll kind of compare the two and kind of see, but holding them in my hand, it definitely has a little bit more weight to it, so if you're whipping that around on a tail whip, it'll definitely have an effect. We'll go ahead and pull out this TSI Chetty Fender to compare the weight. Now with the TSI, you also have that oval hole, so it is also adjustable, but not as much, and it's not as compatible. For example, like I kind of mentioned, an Aztec deck, you cannot run a TSI Chetty Fender. I have some other fenders that you can run with it, but this BK Fender is going to be pretty compatible in that it's pretty unique that it doesn't need the sidewalls. TSI, for example, has these sidewalls that stop it from going down, whereas this carbon fiber fender is just so thick, and because it's carbon fiber, it doesn't flex, and that's what allows it to be a fender rather than relying on sidewalls. All right, so throwing it on the scale, the BK carbon fiber fender is 20 grams, and let me take the bolt off of this Chetty fender to give it a true weight measurement, but it is 60 grams, so it's 3 times as heavy as the BK fender. So like I said, it's not going to make a huge difference to the overall weight of your scooter, but it'll definitely give it a little bit more difference on a balance aspect. So the last thing that I want to do is I want to go ahead and install this fender onto a deck to see how it looks. So I grabbed this TSI Paramount from out of the store next door, and we're going to go ahead and install it and take a look. Alright, so putting this fender on is going to be more or less identical to putting on any fender or brake. We're going to need a 10mm socket for the nut, and you're going to need, looks like a 4mm Allen key. Yep. So, nice and simple, you'll just take your deck, you'll install the fender like that in there, and you're going to take your 2 bolts, pop those down in, and then just set the washers on like this. And then go ahead and put on the nuts. Then you put the 4mm Allen head onto the bolt. You just want to make sure that you definitely have those washers on here, because like I mentioned earlier in the video, it is actual carbon fiber, so without the washer the nut can damage it. So you definitely want to make sure to always have that washer in place when you're running this fender. Alright, and just like that, our fender is installed and it looks amazing. Like I said, it's very low profile. Let's throw a wheel on here and see how that looks. Alright, and this is how it looks when you got a wheel on there. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this short little video about the new BK Fender. Like I said, made by Brandon Kilbury, who is an absolute legend of our sport. They are full carbon fiber, actual carbon fiber, not just, you know, painted to look like it. They're a low profile fender, they're a very compatible fender, so if you ride a fender now or if you want to get into it, I just rambled off 4 quick reasons to pick one of these up at shoppcx.com, but the list goes on and on, so definitely for sure, at least if nothing else, check them out and spread the word, because they deserve some hype. So see you guys in the next video.